must have known where I was headed next because, and you're about as close to this program as, I don't want to put a number on it, 10, 15, 50 people out there. You're, in that group, but still, you don't know what the injury status are of these players. I know people demand that of you. People demand that of me. So
Right.
going to play. How healthy are they?
The number of texts I've gotten this morning already on, or in between yesterday and today, as if I'm like the actual doctor, is hilarious. But yeah, go on.
So we've got two beat up running back rooms to some extent. On the Michigan side, we'll focus there. We saw that Luke Schoonmaker didn't play. I really like your third string tight end, Loveland. He's got
He,
great
he,
potential.
he is, he legitimately, I mean, I think Harbaugh has said this about every tight end that's come through, but like he's going to be the next guy. He's going to be one of our best tight ends ever. So athletic. I would compare him athletic wise to Eric Hall, who obviously we're really missing this, down this stretch. He just needs to beef up. He's not quite there yet physically, but I mean, super athletic kid.
And then we see where Mozzie Smith misses action, and Mike Morris, I think, made the statement, hey, I got this ankle issue, but if it was that other game that's coming up, I would be on the field, so I'm going to be there. So, I think one of your offensive linemen is Will.
Yeah, I can run it down a little bit here. So I mean, you had Trente Jones still out with a high ankle injury last week. Carson Barnhart's filling in there. Trevor Keegan was out with an injury as well, undisclosed. I think Michigan's hoping to get Keegan back. I don't know that for sure. Trente's been working and practicing a lot. I just don't know where exactly he's at. Donovan Edwards didn't play on Saturday as well, which is a key piece, obviously, especially when you see Corum go down. I think that he's questionable for Saturday still with a hand injury, so we'll see where he's at. Corum, obviously, you see him go down, you see him try and come back, and then can't do it. I hope it's precautionary there, to say let's get you rested up. We think we can win this without you. He's, handing out turkeys, walking around on Sunday, which is awesome to see. That's an aside, just a really cool, thing. I think a lot of people, if you're the Heisman guy and you've got the biggest game of your career coming up and you're a little beat up, nobody would have blamed him if he said, hey, guys, I can't do it today. But I got to give him 1,000% credit for
Absolutely.
going
I
out
saw
there.
that as well and thought that was amazing that, from both standpoints that, hey, can I just focus this week, even if I'm completely healthy or whatever, I'll do really good things 51 weeks out of the year. But then on top of it, I thought, well, that's a good sign in terms of his health. But more than that, hey, I got to give him all sorts of credit for being out there, not being like, hey, I just got hurt, I'll help in any way I can when I get healthy.
Yeah.
But to be doing that, that's exceptional.
Yeah, and I think it's a good sign, obviously, that he's, at least it didn't look like he was not hobbling, but I think that good that he's upright and walking. I think Michigan hopes to have him back, too. If I had to guess, that dude, if he's anywhere near ready to go, he's going to go. And then on the defensive side of the ball, as you said, so you're hoping for Mike Morris back you're hoping for Mozzie Smith at 100% strength. Junior Colson went down in the second half as well. I'm not sure of his status, but I hope that he can go. There's just we're to that point of the year, Mark, where everybody's a little banged up, and I remember going back to like the 2018 game where Michigan was going to Columbus favored for the first time, but they had a bad injury bug, and it really, really affected that game. So I hope it doesn't for Michigan. And then on the Ohio State side, what have you heard about Travion Henderson, Mayan Williams, et cetera, et cetera?
So Travion Henderson catches a 31-yard touchdown pass and limps off the field, and they gave him another 2 series and some carries, and he was completely ineffective, obviously that was good Maryland defense, but he was clearly compromised. Dallin Hayden comes in, and maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they found something here. Runs for 145 yards, shows that I didn't necessarily think that obviously the experience factor is not there with Dallin Hayden, and that he's a slider back, that you wouldn't want him pounding ahead 27 times against a Big Ten defense, let alone now against Michigan. But man, if he's not on that field, they probably don't win that game. So he comes through. I think Mayan Williams, was held out kind of in a Mike Morris type way for precautionary reasons, but he's still far from 100%. It's not going to be Mayan Williams at his best. So that's what we're looking at. I don't have a good feeling about TreVeyon Henderson and don't expect him to play any kind of key role in this game.
Which I think, I mean, those are that is obviously Blake Corum is probably like him going down is more important than TreVeyon Henderson going down, because it feels like Ohio State probably has some better depth there. But I mean, that is key. I think both of those are key. So then the question is, if all of a sudden Ohio State doesn't have an effective run game and they're banged up and they can't move the ball, I mean, what do? You obviously have C.J. Stroud and you have an incredible wide receiver core, but if Michigan can sell out on the pass, it just changes everything, right?
Yeah, this is the one team in the country that if you were going to say you got to throw the ball 60 times and run it 11, and you're going to win this game, they would be the team that you would select. But I don't think against that defense, though. It's just too predictable. It's just too one-dimensional.
Yeah, and I think too. Honestly, what people aren't talking about either is pass protection with those running backs. Those are big boys, and the freshman is not as big of a boy. And so when you're sending linebackers and trying to protect C.J. Stroud, which we all know is probably one of the most important keys to this game, that they keep C.J. Stroud upright. That's something that I'm looking at. I've talked to these D linemen, and they're excited to get after CJ, because I think they know when he is out of the pocket on his butt, feeling pressure, he's a completely different quarterback. And that was the key to last year's win, was being able to rush get to the QB anyway with Ojabo and with Aiden Hutchinson. They can do anything like that, which they haven't been near as good in the pass rush this year as they have last year. But if they can get to Stroud, I think that changes a lot for what this Ohio State offense, and Ohio State could be looking for answers if that's the case. Now, I'll say on the flip side, if he sits back there and gets 10 seconds, then it doesn't matter if they run the ball 0 times on Saturday. They'll be able to throw all over the place. He's really, really good when he's got great protection.